A lot of people are like, oh, I already got that figured out. Well, do you? It's up to you. I think it's something that needs to be touched on several fucking times.
Yeah,
Like,
risk.
several times a month almost to reinforce the fact that you don't break rule number 1. And what's rule number 1? Anybody? No? Rule number
Yeah,
1 is
no.
don't do anything stupid.
Don't talk about Fight Club.
No, that's rule number 3. Rule number 2 is see rule number 1. It's a Futures Traders 71. That's here. I can send it out, but I mean, I just don't like spamming. But like, I don't like sending stuff out on Fat Cat's channel. It's not Fat Cat related. Do you know what I mean? It's like promoting other people. I know he probably wouldn't have a problem with it, but it's I can tell you, it's Futures Trader 71.
His
Something
YouTube
that
channel.
specs. Yeah, it's something that specs and Zero looked at like many moons ago, and it's April 12th, 2017 is when he put it on. It's what to know about risk management. But I just don't want to put the link or whatever. I just don't want to piss Fat Cat off and any of that shit. But it's just something that, yeah, like I think it's risk management is something that needs to be worked on like almost a fucking daily basis.
What is the title called?
Let me just to know about risk management. Top step trader risk management for traders. FT 71. April 12th, 2017.
Just send it to me. I'm not looking for it.
Yeah, like I could do that. I just don't want to post it on the. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's wrong or what.
Just post it. It's my channel.
Oh, here I can do something like this.
Seriously, just post it. It's fine.
Okay.
If Faka has some issues with it, I'll talk to him about it. Which I don't think he would.
I know, but I just don't want to. Anything.
Just blame it on me. Just say Zero said he could do it.
I'll shut the embed off, right? So now it's just that. There you go. So it's not like in everybody's face. I was just touching on some stuff that I was watching before, and just stuff that's good to keep. You know.
Oh, I hate his voice.
I can't do much about that.
Yeah. Anyways.
It really wanted to shake you out, on this short.
Me?
Yeah, like at the top here, at that second peak at 10 o'clock.
What
right
price?
At that news. Yeah, right at that news, eh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, really
that's
close.
Well, that's the important thing about trading with levels.
Oh, like you've said before, if you get a pretty good entry, it's almost willing to come back and fuck you out of it. It's gonna make you feel like you shouldn't. Like you're like, oh fuck, I did something. Like, you know what I mean? I should take profit. And really, it's just giving the guy that was late, John and Bob and Dave, they were all late, and hey, come on, hey, let's get it on again, right? And they're like, okay. They take it up, and they're like, yeah. What, you're done, crude?
Yeah, my crew's done. I did not expect it to close out today. I thought it was gonna be tomorrow. But I'm done with crude.
Like you're done. The little bounce didn't happen quite yet, eh?
What do you mean?
Kind of happening now, but it's not really running off to the moon.
Well, I mean, I don't expect it, and I my anticipation was that it was going to give you a scalping bounce, not a positional bounce.
Sure. Yeah. Sure, that makes sense. What was the driver for that? Like, how did you kind of like? Was there any type of sort of special news or something that you picked up on, or?
It's we're it's delivering. So people usually, not necessarily always usually, but I believe that they were pushing down the price for the deliverables. We have price action on the hourly, showing brick and structure coming down. Um, wait, hold up. All right, this could be a reversal for the indices. Really quick, sorry. Look at this. I think you could wait until 3050 to get in on it. ES to the upside.
30, 50?
Yeah, I think it's a possibility.
50. Okay, I like that.
But
I
this is
like that.
coming. Yeah, this is coming in. So just be careful because London's closing out right now, guys. So
10
this
minutes,
could,
right? 9 minutes.
yeah. So this could be a possible move up, just to kind of shake out any kind of weak hands. So I wouldn't really marry myself to a trade when it comes back at like 3050 or something like that to take it to the upside. Just keep your stops really tight just in case. I told Specs that I told him I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be such a hard ass on him or being hard on him. I just don't want. I just want him to do well.
Shit. Yeah, no, I don't, hard ass, I don't know. This isn't a fucking, it's not a friendly fucking thing. So, I'm sorry, but like,
Mm.
it's what as they say that the truth hurts or whatever. Like, it's not even the truth. It's, yeah, we're not, I don't know. Money, there's no real, money makes it hard, right? Like,
Yeah.
so, like, you can't be pretty and nice about money. That's part of the thing, right? Like, it brings
Well,
out the worst in everybody, and you know what I mean. Like it's like
I
it's a
just don't
tough
want him to
fucking.
lose money. That's all.
Well, that's what I mean, and sometimes it's hard. What are the help is hard, right? Or I can't quite give the proper thing that I'm thinking.
I don't know what the hell you're saying.
It's a stupid saying. It's like it's love is hard or something like.
Again, guys, just be careful. It is coming into London close.
Boom.
We did get down to that 3050 level retracement. So
A
again,
little bit.
keep your wrists tight. If you did buy that level, I did not. Obviously, I'm so short. But
Okay, here. Let's talk about that then. Where would you put your risk then? Are you still gonna shoot for 26? Or would you
if
say 29, 25? Because after that, it's kind of going to be wrong, right?
so, I will put it at 29.25, and
Okay.
if I bought it at 30.50, I would have taken half off right now, to pay for the trade, keeping my stop at 29.25, and then seeing where this runs to. And I think this, I don't know, we'll have to see, but this
It
could
just kind of had that fucked up double top, so there you go.
exactly, yep. So you just want to keep it
And
extremely,
look
extremely
left.
tight.
Keep looking left. What's the other pivot?
Hold on.
See? Just slightly above it, right?
Yep.
It's quite an interesting little battle right here.
Yep. So you just want to keep your wrists extremely, tight on this, because again, we don't know if this bounce was London's covering their shorts, or possibly U.S. shaking out any kind of weak shorts. Again, ultimately, I do believe we're going to get down to um oh 03 um by the end of the week.
3, okay, yeah, but it's going to take a couple. Well, where are we at? We're almost got 2 days left, right?
Yeah, it is a short week. A lot of people think this is a 4-day trading day a week, but it's not. In reality, it is actually a 3-day trading week, because Asia and London were closed. and actually a lot of
Oh, okay, yeah. So, but Friday, yeah, Friday's just a normal day.
correct.
Right, and I already, I don't know if I mentioned it, but I mean, like, how many people are not even, we're the only degenerates that are actually still standing here staring at screens, right? Like,
Yeah, most
a lot
people
of
don't
people are going
trade into this.
skiing and shit or whatever, right? Like,
Yeah, they go vacation with their families and stuff like
yeah,
that.
for sure. Even just travel plans. Think about it. Like, if you had, like, if you had to go visit your family here and your whatever there, and
Nice buy, um, Peter. Uh, why'd you get stopped out 3 times?
3 times. That's too tight a risk.
How many points is your stop out?
Yeah. Pretty tight. Is it a triple top now?
Peter, if you want to, we can run by that. If you want to send me the exact time you bought those, and then we can talk about that. Because personally, I don't think price action wise, there was anything until, you know, until when I just called out 30, 50 or whatever the hell it is. If you were here for pre-market, we did talk about how today was going to be a back and forth day um for the indices. So I don't expect, you know, too crazy of shit.
It's really interesting how it rejected that gap fill again this
What's
morning.
the price? Oh, right.
Sorry?
Yeah, never mind. Yeah, you know, what was 27? Yeah, to me, 27. I don't, I'm not gonna say it's in the middle of nowhere. I think that you should zoom in a little bit. Like if 27 is a low of yours, that's fine. Um, and when it hit that, you really gotta look at some price action to kind of determine it or something else. I think it wasn't a bad entry. And if you entered at 27, you shouldn't have been stopped out. I mean, with 8 ticks, you should have been fine. The low was at 26,
Hmm.
right? So, unless I'm
Hmm.
not understanding something.
Hmm. I'm not really following that either. It's a fucking terrific entry.
So,
Maybe he's talking about getting stopped out trying to hit it earlier.
maybe.
Something like that, but
But I don't see how 8 ticks could be stopped out.
I don't know. Hmm. But nevertheless, the 27 is still a very tough trade because you just cut. It's to me, it's just catching a knife almost, right?
Um, depends on what parameters. There are circumstances that I'm looking at right now that suggests that it was a decent long. If I wasn't sure, I might have attempted a long there.
Right at 27.
Maybe not right at 27. I would say I would have attempted a long. Oops. I would have attempted a long
I would
probably at 11:18:03. I mean, price action supports that, right?
no. I wouldn't have. I like that 30 is more like it.
You mean where I
30's more
just
like it. And
yeah.
if I was already short from 33 down to the 30. I didn't get to go from 30 long. If you look, it didn't really matter so far. Like I don't know why, but I tend to break a structure and then I take it short to the spot that I'm supposed to be taking it long. I don't know why I do it like that, but I don't know. Long from 28.
I understand why you did it, Peter. Do you have a level there, or is it just based on price action? Or I agree with you, Jazzer. I think that it doesn't look like it's ready to pop.
But this price action's kind of interesting right here. 3 minutes after the close.
So for me, and again, Peter, I'm not saying you're wrong or anything. Um, I don't know, like, so Specs did that too. He does that too, where he'll trade Friday's low, uh, which to me it's well. Let me look at Friday's low. This is Tuesday. What Friday's low is at? I have Friday's low at 21, so I'm not quite sure why you have 27. I have Friday's low at exactly at 21.25. Um, anyhow, oh well, let's not skip that. So what was at 27? I don't have a low at 27, and I'll get on with what I was about to say. Oh, I see. Okay. So it's very different from saying Friday's low versus Friday's low volume node or a low volume node. Um, I don't believe in trading a low that was like 2, 3, 4, 5 days ago. Conceptually, it doesn't make sense to me. If it's been breached, then then it's insignificant. If it hasn't been breached, like Friday's low, then there's a better low to play, which is yesterday's low, right? If you're looking for that breakout or that reversal. Um, I just find that yeah. I don't really play those type of things, but Specs does that. I think if you're gonna play those type of levels, it's fine. You just have to wait for some kind of price action, and then you need one more confirmation for that price action, to take it up. Whether it's, again, I just say moving averages because I don't think it's a bad idea to have it, but some kind of moving average, or like Harvey uses TTM, or like cumulative delta or something like that. But as far as or risky uses is uptick downtick stuff. Um, you need one additional. So I try to have uh three things, right? One being level, an area you're gonna participate in, and then two things to confirm that level, whether it be again moving averages or stochastics or uptick downtick or cumulative delta or TTM or whatever it is, to validate that, right? So for me, it's level, price action, and then look at what, you know, the day type and everything else is. So I use capital full for directional bias. Like Numbers was messaging me earlier today and was asking me like, what I thought about um the overall market. And I told him that and this is like, wee hours in the morning. So the market hasn't moved yet. But I told him that I'm short energy, meaning crude and nat gas, which worked out fucking fantastic. I said I'm short metals. I am semi-neutral in the indices. And as far as the currencies go, I would say uh case by case basis, since the yen is actually controlling a lot of it. And then as far as grains, I'm not touching it. But I think that's what some people in here are lacking, the directional bias. Um, I'm not going to name names, but some people just come in and say, oh, it breaks this level, so I'm going to go long. Or it breaks that level, I'm going to go short. It's like, but why? It doesn't make sense to do that. You should play edges and um, play edges, always play edges to revert. I don't think there's anyone here that's new, but I would say try to understand yourself and try to determine what type of trader you want to be. Do you want to be a mean reversion trader, or do you want to be a breakout trader? If you're a mean reversion trader, then you trade the edges. Or actually both you should trade the edges. But if you're a breakout trader, chances are you're most likely should be a swing trader. Did I say that correctly, Harvey? Edges meaning just price action. So, for instance, let's just look at like, you know, uh, on a daily. All right, let's clean up this chart. Make it a little bit easier to look at. So for me, it's a daily. And let's just do a random replay here. So the edges would be, you know, uh, this, once it breaks that, these are the edges, right? You don't want to trade in here, especially you don't want to revert to the mean in here. So these are the edges. This would be an edge since, where it's breaking this. This would be another edge since it's breaking that. Uh, this right here is another edge since it's breaking this. Now, yes, it's on the daily, but you can actually look and be like, all right, it broke that. You revert back to the mean, whatever it is. I know someone who just trades this like this, um, with a let's just say 200-day moving average. Or no, sorry, two. Where is it? Oh, there it is. So he just plays this. Whenever it reverts and it's to an edge, he'll play it. So this he won't play because we're on the average. And again, you don't have to do this, but this area, yes, it's a big ass area, but you just wait and then you wait until capital full turns, you wait until price action tells you to on a smaller time scale, and then you try to revert back to this moving average. This one right here is an edge, and it gets right back to that moving average. Look. So, uh, I would do that. Just revert back to me. Yeah, it's just basically stops. I mean, again, this guy does very well, and yeah, I would say there's a guy who does this too, and he's effing insane. Um, let me show you guys. He just trades this on an hourly basis, and he just trades the edges. Whoops. Each time it gets too far, he's just waiting for price action to confirm it, and he takes it back down to the 2 hour 100 hourly. That's all he does day in, day out. All these, like, again, based on this X amount of time, this is an edge. This is an edge. Back to 200, back to 200. This is all of this is an edge, and you just try to trade it back to 200. That's it. That's what they do. But whether it's to a moving average or whatever it may be, you need to figure out if you want to be a breakout trader or a mean reversion trader. Yeah, Peter, I think that's perfectly fine what you just did or said. I think that there's nothing wrong with what you did. As long as you keep your EV high, I think
Check.
that's
Sorry.
I think it's perfectly fine. So this buying is coming in fairly on low volume. See where it gets up to. Um, they did do a little stop run, bottom tick, on a micro scale, bounce exactly on a daily -2. I don't see any kind of absorption yet. Yes, we did a double top, but all right, there goes absorption right there. Let's see if we can get anything. All right. Totally botched that.
My mic, sorry, my mic wasn't working there, was it?
Nope, didn't hear anyone say anything.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So back to you didn't. Okay, that sucks. I was just saying the way you were saying that you have to decide or choose what kind of trader you are. I don't think you get to choose. I think it comes to you. Just like when Fat Cat tried to become a swing trader, he didn't do very well, and then he said to himself, "Look, I'm a scalper." When we went back to scalping, he did very well, right? I
no,
just don't think you get to choose what you want to do. I think you do what you're good at, and that's what you do.
you're right. So you are not choosing, but in a way, what you just said is the same thing, right? Because you're not gonna if you don't like breakout trades, you're not gonna choose it because it's not within your personality. It doesn't make sense to you. So it's the same thing, but you're right. You you choose it, but you don't because
How about
um
this? You choose what you don't do more than what you choose that you do, right?
uh
Like
yeah,
I don't want to take breakout trades because they don't work for me. So I don't do it. I don't do this, and then like you know what I mean. It's like reverse engineering or whatever. Like you do the opposite. Like you take away stuff. You don't get to choose what you. Because I'm sure a lot of people came to this uh the whole Fat Cat room and everything because they would thought or think that scalping is the way, right? But
yep.
realistically, the way he does it is like, if you want to talk about the 98% of people that fail, what about the percentage that can do his job? Is like very low. Like he's taking it to the next level of accuracy and
Oh, that guy's
um,
ridiculous.
diligence and like just. I've been I've actually like I've been watching or listening lately as well. He's gotten um, a lot calmer in his I don't know what you want to call it, experience.
I haven't listened to him lately, to be quite
Yeah,
honest with
it's actually quite night and day, man. It's quite
you.
night and
Interesting.
day. Yeah, it is. But he's also doing a lot of meditations and a lot of stuff, right? A lot
Yep.
of external stuff that's not really trading, um, which is working great for him. Well, it seems to be working for him. It's definitely calming him down. That's for fucking sure.
Good. Took another short at 29.50.
Oh, when I noticed my mic was broke or whatever, take a look at CL, you fucker.
What do you mean?
It bounced. It did the bounce right at the level.
Yeah, I know.
You fucker.
I don't know. Honestly, like
Must be
the
hard to sleep with that head of yours floating off the pillow all night.
okay. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, all right?
I don't
I'm
have a head.
no. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I without people like I know people when I post the levels, people will like do the stupid icon, thumbs up, 100%, blah blah. I know who tracks it, who doesn't, simply by what they don't say. Because if you're actually tracking it, you'll be like, what the fuck? Like I know Specs doesn't track at all, and I keep on yelling at him for it. Like I I, I don't know how many times I need to like it needs to work for people to be like, oh shit, maybe I should be paying attention. Um, to me,
It's a lot
it's
like
fucking ridiculous. Like,
no, it's a lot like everything. A person, people are. That's so funny. People, the human nature is so funny. It's
is it
like
funny? I think it's stupid.
a bad driver doesn't know that they're a bad driver, right?
I think they do. I
I don't
think it's
know.
just
Had to
an
come back
ego
on.
thing.
What the fuck is going on? They're fucking murdering it.
Where are we? Oh,
Yeah, Peter, I think 100%. So when I said choose, I mean what feels comfortable to you, and what feels comfortable is your personality dictating it. So you're right. I mean, that's what Harvey and I were kind of talking. But yeah, you do you know what I'm saying, Harvey?
I think so. But
No.
carry on. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying I know who does and who does because
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Oh,
like
for sure.
if you do, you wouldn't question like, oh, why do we,
Well,
you'll be like, what the
I don't know.
fuck? We bounced there again, and
That's what.
what it,
It's not even.
yeah.
I guess I was going the wrong way with the driver thing. It's more like, how about this? If you tell somebody they're a bad driver, they're gonna deny it. If they tell themselves they're a bad driver, it's okay, right? Like so, they have to prove. It's almost like they have to prove it to themselves, or they have to put some sort of behind it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I can't get behind that because I can't make sense of it, right? Or why is it working? Or why they always need this why. There's no blind following. They
Oh, I
always need an actual oh, well, this is the exact reason why, and it's like, I'm sorry, but trading doesn't kind of work like that, really. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of left, rights, and sideways in the whole fucking thing, and it's not just a straight line. And you get a perfectly black and white answer. Even the fucking terms are skewed, right? Like skewed, or like
I
there's 6
100%,
different definitions of every
yeah.
fucking thing, right? It's like,
So I 100% agree with what you just said, and that's why I said I will teach, and I have taught you, and I will continue to teach people how to get those levels, but I am not going to teach it blinded without
blindly.
blindly without you guys using it. I'm just not. And if you have an issue with that and you don't want to use it, then don't fucking use it. I don't care. I don't lose sleep. I'm just trying to help people, to be quite honest with you.
No,
I
and
yeah.
even if they don't work, like that's the thing. Oh, if it doesn't stop right to the letter, it's not a level. And I'm like, well, does it consolidate right around that level? Does it? Like I don't know. It's areas. It's the same as the volume profile. It's not so simple as like take it from the POC to the fucking. Where it's not that easy. It doesn't just stop as there's hundreds of thousands of participants moving the thing with unknown sizes, unknown expectations, and unknown motivations to do what they're doing.
Yeah.
You're like, well, why did that trader do that? Why did it do this? I don't know. It did it. We're here to react to it, not to fucking tell it what to do or why did it do it. Like, oh, what was this? Was there news? Yeah, okay, there was news. But after that, who the fuck cares? Like, that's it. It's just a trigger, right? It's just a trigger. That's all that is.
Red Pie, what did you mean by discretion? And level 25 is strictly just so you want to use the daily levels as a barometer of who is weak, who is strong. That's one. And who's leading. That's part of the capital flow side of things. So you start using that to teach yourself the capital flow. Now, you're right as far as discretion goes when it hits, say, the major level at 71, but that's when you join on voice and we talk about capital flow and what things are doing. Yeah, I took it at the major level and I'm aiming for another major level. I'm not taking it off at daily levels. These daily levels, again, they're there for capital flow senses. I keep saying that you can trade them. I don't think that you can't. I think that it's, if you want to, you can scalp through and around them. But for me, I'd much rather have you trade these major levels.
Correct me if you're wrong. If I'm wrong, sorry. But I'm just going to make a blanket statement here that says there's always another level below or above the level that you're talking about. Any level.
Yeah, of
There's
course.
always another level, right?
Yes.
So if it holds, it holds. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's not so. That's what I'm saying. It's not so black and white, and it's just like, yes, it's going to reverse the. That's like the reverse trade button.
Mhm.
That's the craziest button I've ever seen, man. To put the reverse position on, you got to be a fucking ninja to be able to work that.
I think Risky did it yesterday, didn't he? Risky, didn't you
But
do that yesterday?
The reverse
Mm,
button.
kind of today as well, but
Yeah. I think he was talking about that. So you go, oh, that
Fucking
was
ninja
what-
work, dude.
Wait, hold on. Let me try to do my best risky impression. Ooh, that was juicy. I took a short and then reversed long, and I took half size off already. Is that good, risky?
No,
fair
it's
enough.
terrible. It's
That
terrible. It's terrible.
was a good risky impression.
yeah.
It's terrible. It had no accent at all.
I know. Well, I can't fucking do a serious accent.
Yeah, no shit, you can't.
But risky did it. I mean, I know.
No, it's
I know-
really, really difficult. Like I'm
It
just
is
saying,
difficult, but risky
it's like
can do it.
the hardest fucking button to
Yeah.
push.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think it's the dumbest button too. I agree with you on that.
I mean, the majority of the time, it is the dumbest button. Like,
I think risky probably did it based on how bored.
I mean,
he was.
I
Fully.
didn't like fully reverse it. I took it, and then a couple seconds later, because I got a signal to get out, which is like a buy signal.
You didn't
I mean,
do it.
I mean, buying while exiting, and then at the same time trying to get filled is kind of the same thing for me.
Yeah,
It's not like it's not like instantly mark it in, mark it out, mark it in. Like it's not like I'm throwing double the size in the opposite direction, you know. Like that would be crazy. What do you think about it holding the Friday lows?
I don't think it will.
I've been lazy to learn the stupid options too. The fucking Greeks and the confusing fuck.
I don't think it will for Fridays though.
Is John here? He sent me a fucking list. No, John's in the next room. He sent me a list of 160 different option strategies with like the math. Like, have you ever seen the options math?
I don't really understand.
I ain't very good with math, man. And this is like full out fucking algebras and like it looked like trigon. I don't know what the fuck it was, man. It was pretty heavy duty shit. I was
You
like,
could
whoa.
even
It
pronounce
is
trigonometry.
like if you really want to go deep into it, yes, there are like second and third derivatives of certain things in options that you can calculate. Sure, does it provide you any more insight? Maybe.
I didn't. Yeah, like you know what I mean. But it was just. It was like, whoa. There's a lot of shit, right? Like,
I mean, people are trying to make it more complicated than it is as well, just to scare people away. Just to keep people dumb. It's the same thing as in futures. Like, trend line, the support, supply demand. Like, just fucking blabber on. If it makes sense to the public, and then it comes down to, like, the really advanced shit, like, I can make my strategy seem like fucking rocket science.
yeah. I bet.
Like, if I really want to, like, if I'm gonna go technical on the terms, but I can simplify it also and explain it to fucking my girlfriend, which doesn't trade, and she understands. So it's like,
Here we go. Here it is. Here. This. Okay, explain to me what a covered call is.
what a covered call is. You
Yeah.
buy a stock,
There's a
and
covered call right there.
you buy a stock and you sell options, well, a call option on that said stock because you believe it's not going to go much further in that direction. So you can get the premium of the option, but you don't have to sell your stock to the person. That's what you do.
See that calculation? That's a covered call.
So much.
Yeah,
smart,
I mean, you can calculate it in that regard.
It's fucked up, man. I'm not that smart. Holy shit. I barely passed high school. What the fuck?
What are you talking about? You were so good at high school, you did it twice.
Did it twice. I certainly did a few parts of it twice. I didn't do the whole thing. Fucking grade 9 French, you can fuck off with that. Actually, I'm pretty half-ass decent with French, but that's
Hey, Red Pie, can you?
That's a funny story. I have a funny story, but that's fine.
Wait, hold on. Red Pie, can you jump on voice real quick?
Hello.
Hey, what's up, man? You always gotta sound like a goddamn sex worker. Anyways, all right.
Fuck.
So, what was your question?
So for the levels, I've been like tracking it for the majors and the daily.
Yeah.
Uh, it's really thin the volume. So like a lot of the levels, I don't know how much weight to give to them or how the reaction holds.
Mm-hmm.
So for like major levels, so I guess it's not I don't know. I feel like people are playing it like it hits, it has to bounce, right? But it
Yeah.
should be more of like it hits, and then that level is just like a point of interest, and you watch how it reacts there, and like it can keep on going to touch the next level, or it can like bounce. It's just like I don't know. It's just like any level. It's just how like the way it was explained to me for like other forms of trading is that nothing is concrete. That's why you always watch for the reaction and not just like blindly like buy or sell based on like levels.
So, first off, do you live on a farm?
Kinda.
Okay, cool.
Man, he's so secretive with his like. Holy shit!
Uh,
I heard like a rooster in the background. That's why I was like,
okay, so then
wait, hold on. Let me answer the question first. So yes, I agree with you. So my the levels that I send out, whatever, they're they're 2 points, right? They're a level where you first off, all of them are a level where you do business at. You don't want to trade uh at a non-level per se, okay? So you only want to do business at levels. That's number one. Number two, there are different types of levels. There's levels where I expect price to be attracted to. So for instance, 1725 is a level for us, right? It's approaching that right now. Now, am I going to cover my short right now? No, because at the end of the day, I'm looking for O3. However, if we get a price action move against this level, yes, I will cover it. But as of right now, I don't see that. I don't see anything. Now, and again, it depends on what type of trader you are. If you're a shorter term trader and you took a short, say, where I added to my position, what I at 28.25. If I took a position there, fuck yeah, I'm going to cover my, 28, my essentially 11-point gain at 17.25. Why not? But I shorted at the high of Globex basically, and I'm sitting comfortably. I want to see where this goes, right? So it's perfect that you just brought this up. I'm not going to just cover my shorts at this 17.25 low because I want to see the price action around it. Now, can I ask you a question? Is it like at all kind of like what the fuck? Why did we stall here? Why did we even bounce there? Like shouldn't that should at least trigger you like, okay, we're at a major level now. Let me see what it's doing. If you're say short bias, you don't short it at 17.25. What you're going to do is look at the price action, look at other things attached to it to trade this level. So
as well as what has already happened today.
right. So I mean, the low of the day is at 17. Why are we stalling here? Right? What are we going to do? Are we going to continue? I personally will not add a short onto this, not yet at least. Even if we break lower to 1675, I'm not adding on to it. Because I don't feel like, we're going to run that much further yet. It could, but I'm just watching it in this area and I will do business in this area. If other signals, whatever you use, is showing you that this is a possible long, then you can take a stab at it, right? Say like right now, if I wasn't short, I might actually take a stab at this long. Probably at 17. I don't know.
Wouldn't because the NQ levels are showing not.
Okay, so that's the other point. You will then look at what NQ major level is doing. If NQ's major level aren't, if they're both getting supported at the same time, that's the thing about my levels are that they're across platforms for capital flow. You're seeing how they both react at their respective levels. If they're both hitting a major level and bounce, then yeah, I'll be more inclined to take this long, including with everything else.
Also, wrapping now on top of all of that, this fucking guy will give you more work than. Now we got to look at the dollar index. What is it doing? We're actually kind of sideways right now. We're coming up to like a resistance point. It looks like.
Right. So,
so like it's this grand package.
but I understand that it's at the same time kind of confusing. But this is also why like Risky would be like, I think it was last week. He'd be like, "Hey, Zero. So if we get above this level, because I said it like last week, I said this level is good above, bad below. So 3871 was a good above, bad below level, meaning based on capital flow, based on the levels, based on multiple assets such as the bonds, the dollar index, NQ, everything, we are looking at this level as good above, bad below. If we're below 71, which clearly we touched it a couple times, we're aiming for, we're only shorting at that point. I think I'm fairly lost everyone.
I'm on.
No.
I don't think it matters, but I am following.
No, I mean, I want to help Red Pie. I think he has a sexy voice.
No, I agree with what you say, like about like the reaction and whatnot.
Yeah,
and where it points of interest when you transact and not.
Right. And the thing is, Red Pie is like, and I'm not saying you're one, right? There are other people who are in need of this, and there are other people who are just using it at, on top of their own personal levels to give it added confidence. There are many people in here that need to stop trading their own levels. They need to just absolutely stop. They only should be trading. I don't want to sound considering they should only be trading my levels. They shouldn't be thinking or calculating their own levels, because that's how bad their levels are. Some people in here were trading fucking, initial bounce highs and lows or shit like that. I or like London, I don't know. They're just shit that just doesn't matter in my opinion.
Put all my levels at 69. Is that a good idea?
Wait, sorry, say it again.
I just put all my levels at 69. Is that a good idea?
What do you mean by put on your levels at 69?
Just every single 69 I can find, there's a level there.
Oh yeah, 69 levels are great.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah.
I don't know about in trading, but definitely in streamings and shit.
Okay.
I think for levels, I think people just follow like systems blindly, and I don't mean to go against anyone. I'm just saying like it would be good to be like systematic about it and like back test it or like even forward test it, and then like see what works.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But like you got to think about it like all of it. So what you just said, let's just put it onto RSI. Let's just put it onto MACD. Let's just put it onto Fibonacci's. Let's put it onto, right? Like, it goes across the board.
I don't use those, so I'm not sure. But I think
I'm not
anything you
saying
want
that.
to
I'm just saying,
incorporate,
even if you don't use it, it's this idea of it, right? That's what I'm trying to get at.
You
Guys,
lost me there.
Hold on. We're nearing the bottom of this move right now, based on capital flow. We're nearing the bottom of the move.
All right.
We could have a reaction just about here. So even though I was aiming for 03, we may not get there. I took an additional one off right now. We may not get there. Oh. Fuck, this ended up to be a really fucking good day for me.
Me too. Actually.
Are you saying this based on like the ZB curl?
What?
Is ZB 10-year, 30-year?
Yes, I'm using the 30-year.
Yeah. So did you say that based on the curl on the 30-year?
Based on a 30-year on the daily, I think maybe we have a little bit more downside. But the 30-year dollar index, the VIX, I'm looking at. But thanks for reminding me. Let me check out. I think NQ actually has a little bit more to go. But yeah, I think this could be, yes, but it was based on that. And again, seeing this is just saying, all right, this pause could continue to the upside or it can continue to the downside. Obviously, no shit. But it at least gives me an indication, all right, cool. I might take it off. Now, if the capital flows says, hey, this could be the move, we're done. Well, if it's in the middle of fucking nowhere, I'm not gonna just be done with it, right? But because it's also hitting a level of mine, I'm like, okay, this could actually be done. Let me take off the majority of my position, which I just did. I only have one contract left, and see what happens. But if it wasn't because of a level, I may not even take it off. We had multiple signals, price action wise to take it off. But I didn't take it off because it's like, well, I'm trading from level to level. And I've always said we should be trading from level to level. So, one level is 71 and we traded down to 1725. And I basically took it off. Well, I took it off at 1775, but it's close enough because I want to see the reaction. We stalled enough for me to not continue. But we could go much further. I'm just saying we're nearing the end of the move based on capital flow. That doesn't mean that we don't have additional downside. It just means that we could just stall out. I still have one more aiming at 03. I always do that, right? You add, you take money off. At this point, I won't add any more. I've been adding throughout the day to this short position. I won't add any more because of capital flow.
What's your average now?
My average price is at 28.25.
28.25. Okay.
But I still have my core, yeah, still originating from 71.50, but yeah.
I don't know, I get you. But did you think about or did you employ what I was trying to
I understand
tell
what you were trying to say, yeah. What's
It's a bit
more
advanced, but then it's tricky, but
damn.
Zero, I want to ask you, for capital flow,
Mm-hmm.
how do you factor in what looks like margin liquidation for for example, Tesla, the sell off, right?
Mm-hmm.
That looks like margin liquidation. It reminds me of the Bill Hoang Viacom sell off.
If I'm understanding you correctly, I don't really look at marginal liquidation. Reason being is because I encompass that, or the regime of what I trade covers that already. To me, all of these liquidations, all of these news, all of these so-called justification of why the market's doing a certain thing is already covered in my head, the regime of the market. So a lot of people are like, oh, we're doing this because of the war, or because of pricing, or because interest rates, or some kind of stop run or liquidity. No, all of it is encompassed by it. We're in a regime where we're selling 100% tech. We're selling energy. We're selling metals. We're selling indices. We're buying grain. We're also buying hospitality. We're also buying REITs, which is sort of to the same. But other than that, we're selling most of the things. Now, the reason why, you know, I personally like to think of this because it's more of a macroeconomic sense. So it does cover that. So when I see a move such as mass liquidations or some kind of grabs or even news or whatever, I'm not shocked by it per se because I'm already anticipating that it's going to do it. It's just a accelerator of what the regime was going to do anyways. So a lot of these, you know, when people are like, "Oh my god, I can't believe so and so stock sold off so massively. It's down X amount of percentage from whatever." I'm not surprised by it because it's part of the regime. We're just selling the shit out of tech. Tech is no longer good. Finance is no longer good, right? So that's what I think. I don't know if that answers your question, but
How far out do you figure
do I figure what?
that sell off or whatever? How long do you think we've been selling? It's just a rough. I have a couple of charts here. 3 months, 1
mean-
month, half a year.
You mean additional selling in the indices?
No, the sector
Oh,
sell-offs. You think it's been a half a year, or you think it's been a full year? I just have some charts here. I can post one.
you're talking about in the future, like next year, right?
No, I'm talking about what's already happened this last ever.
Past
That's
year?
what I'm asking. Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
we-
I'm asking you, how far back do you want to go? 1 week, 1 month, 3 months, half a year, 1 year?
1 year.
1 year performance, relative performance? Or to
Yeah.
date? That's the same thing. That's fine. I'll post it. Shit.
I think we can have an additional pullback to maybe 77.65 included before if we are going to move up if you're long biased. Again, I've been short biased, so
If we're long bias, I don't know. Yeah, you're right.
but what am I
CO.
right? Yeah.
We might be going long here. You're right.
I'm still short biased based on regime, but if you want to base it on levels, we hit their daily active 2, which John and I talked about, and it at the simultaneously essentially hit the implied volatility, so we're all good there, and we're just moving up at this point, right? So if you again, I said that you can possibly, I expect a bounce, and you can trade it from a scalping or short-term position, not necessarily a long-term thing. So it's not like based on capital flow, it's based on none of that. It's just strictly based on you know uh levels I'm confident in, and taking a scalp off of that.
To the levels, do you have any major levels in the NQ that are lower? The lowest you got is 11,205.
I do.
Okay, so maybe you should start employing that, seeing as we're the fuck
Approaching.
below there. You don't have to do it today, but I mean, in your spare time.
Oh, we have didn't I post a swing target for it? Major target 10 30 10 3 8 125. We haven't hit that yet.
3-8.
That's the target.
There's nothing in between there.
Nope.
On Okay.
Nope.
Okay. Sorry.
You know what I'm saying?
10, 3, 125. 10, just type.
Like, Rip, had I not seen the capital flow turning, I might actually add to a short on this. Probably half a position, unlike my normal, and still aim for that 03. But because of what I saw in capital flow, I'm hands off. It's either going to hit 03 as I anticipated, or it's going to just stop me out at break even. And I'm okay with it because I've been taking profit all along the way. And it's just one more lot left. So I'm not you know, having an issue because I essentially took from my short 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I took I just slowly been taking profit off 13 points. And this is just, to mitigate risk, nothing else. Like adding and adding to the position. I hope I answered any of your questions correctly. Or clearly, I should say. What's up, numbers? Numbers, sneaky little thing. Come in here.
Howdy, how are you?
Good, man. How'd you do?
I've been in and out. I wanted to trade the initial pop in the morning, but I didn't have any confirmation at all, and thus tried to take a long at 10:10. That was about a scratch. Plus a point and a half, and then took a short 10:21 or so. Rode that out for 12 points.
Eastern Standard Time?
Yeah.
It was 10:21.
And then at 11:30, before I went to go shower, short scalp. Tried to take a long at 11:58. Stopped out for 6 ticks. And that's the extent to which I've traded RTH today, reasonably slow. But how about you?
Pretty good day. I mean, I messaged you pre-market that I want to get short metals, energy, and kind of nutrient this, but yeah. So actually decent day today. Depending on how this last trade pans out, maybe 20 or 19 are.
Okay, so a really good day.
Yeah. Well, good day for me. Yeah.
I haven't had one of those days in quite a while, so I don't know.
Oh, trust me, I had a shit day. I've had some really shit days. I think yesterday was a really shit day.
Friday was a tough day to trade. Order flow was all over the place, which isn't a surprise going into the holiday, but order flow was all over the place on Friday.
I think I got my ass kicked on Friday. Did I? Let me see. I'm surprised you traded Friday. Friday.
What else?
Oh.
What else am I gonna do?
Spend it with family. I made like, very small amount of R on Friday. I try not to commit to anything. It was quite scary. Let's see. Yeah, I think Risky took a short with me in crude oil.
Those are some nice Santos charts.
Yeah, Santos sent it to me. He's all like, but I've been messaging him. I don't know what's up with him lately.
Yeah, I tried to extend communication yesterday and a few days before. I haven't heard from him.
I sent him Merry Christmas, but he didn't. I know he did message me and said that he's sorry and he's been busy.
With it being exam season, with most PhD programs have a teaching requirement. I'm assuming that he is grading at the moment, as well as preparing for end of year publishings.
Yep. You guys should take the opportunity to ask numbers of questions. I'll be right back. I'm using the restroom.
Hey, numbers. Do you
Yeah.
have you heard of the VIX 3-month and 1-month spread? Do you ever pay attention to that?
I've tracked those in the past, and because there's 1 month, 3 month, 6 month, 9 month, year, you encounter some people say, "Oh, it can be a leading indicator if you look for an inversion between the 1 month and 3 month, or the which is leading 1 month, 3 month, 9 month, 12 month." However, it's feasible to use as confirmation to a preliminary thesis, but outside of that, I really don't like it because it's supposed to be a complete inverse of the index. And with it being an inverse of the index and representation of volatility, the only indication which it may potentially or should provide is a sentiment gauge of in what volatility regime are we. There's going to be a confluence between 1 month, 3 month, 9 month. If there's a large deviation, then for expected pricing, but you're an intraday trader. Most people don't like the premise that, oh, I want to look at this or that, when in fact, you're an intraday trader. Unless you intend to start swing trading and evaluating a spread between numerous volatility assets, I do not think it's particularly prudent to begin exploring said avenue, because it's going to be incorporating another variable, further convoluting any strategy or execution you may have. I mean, what were your thoughts on how to integrate it?
To see the exact exactly what you just said, to see if it helps with day trading or not. But since you said that it's more for swing, then I may not look at it. I just started reading about it, so I do not know much about it. So that's why I was asking.
It's if you were spread trade. If you want to trade spreads, then yes, it's viable, but most people aren't spread trading on an intraday basis. They're primarily swinging a spread trade. And that's where you would begin encountering issues is your risk tolerance is going to be far smaller than someone else trading that same spread. You may be looking at 5 to 10 points of risk you're willing to incur. Meanwhile, the other person who's trading that spread may be most likely is going to have 20 to 30 points of risk they're willing to incur before their thesis is invalidated. I can't say with certainty whether or not you have the capital to justify doing that, but I don't think it's a prudent option to increase your risk considerably unless you have concrete data to validate that thesis.
Yeah, I don't have enough capital for that. Cool, thanks.
Yeah, certainly. Also, anyone that is entirely serious about validating trade theses, you should make a New Year's resolution to become reasonably proficient in Python. Or some language, Python will be the easiest, but
Of all the languages, which one would you recommend? Python?
Python.
I wonder how it translates. Which one does Sierra use? You said?
It's still a C++,
Oh,
but the main issue is Python supports, C++ is statically typed, and therefore to validate, it's also one of the toughest languages to learn. But if you're starting from scratch, Python's substantially easier because it's dynamically typed.
Mhm.
For learning data structures and algorithms, C++ is great. But overall application, as well as breadth of information available to learn, Python is substantially better.
Interesting. Yeah, most people are asking for Python these days.
Backtesting ideas in Python is substantially faster than C++, too.
It was sorry, repeat that one time.
Backtesting in Python is substantially faster than C++ as well.
Okay. Oh, Santos will say he'll be back next year. He just messaged me. It's funny. He's all like, I'm getting some affairs I had to deal with in order to get back full power in the new year. I know I have disappeared, but as of 3rd of January, I'll be back. Will you still be going to help me? Funny guy. Wait, numbers, did I ask you if you know Pine Script?
You haven't asked me that. I've tried using it before. It's similar to Python. It's dynamically typed,
Okay.
but I'd rather port it in. PineScript is exceedingly limited because you're typically you're always restricted to only the data on TradingView.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. Also, if you want to integrate live strategies, that's Pandas doesn't run that fast. NumPy and Numba and UMPY. Some people say NumPy, but I could say NumPy. And Numba run substantially faster than Pandas. Pandas isn't the most efficient, but then there are one of the libraries which I'm in the process of learning is VectorBot. And the ability to vectorize as opposed to being reliant on arrays can accelerate it about 500 or 600x compared to traditional pandas libraries. Yep. As soon as I say it, Sam.
Who do you want to message?
No.
Hey, Red Pie. Do you see how that level, based on the flow of things, why I said that we're possibly at the end of the move? And with this current bounce, you could have tried it twice or maybe even one time and gone really good profit off of it, even with, say, like a 6-tick stop. I hope you know what I mean, as far as the capital flow and everything else goes, and the level.
I'm not sure what the entirety of what you looked at, but what I could see was like the 30 was like turning.
Right. But you don't just look at the 30 standalone, because it could turn, right? You want to see the relationship between between the 30, the ES. You want to look at the relationship with dollar index as well. You want to see where the essentially, what the Eurobonds did as near their close. You want to see what the 10 year is also doing as well. You want to see the difference between the 10 and, like, say, the 5 year, all of that combined. Will kind of paint a picture. And then if all of those things line up, plus you're at a major level, then you're like, all right, cool. This could be a level that it's going to turn around in. So had you taken, if I wasn't short, I might have taken a couple stabs there. And at this point, depending on where you take your stabs, you could be up 10 points already.
The
Although
lows. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I didn't take this. The lows were a very good long opportunity.
No.
And reason being is, first off, state this premise. Continue to make lower lows throughout the day. This is the first occasion we had a shift in sentiment, but price remained along the low and then pumped higher. I really would say this was probably the only good long opportunity today, where you would have adequate confirmation of your long entry based on the order flow, like your trading order flow. But outside of that, something else important to note, I really think everyone should be using higher high, higher lows over specified time periods to evaluate swing high, swing low, and a bit better for market context. Because something which I have been integrating is exactly that, but a position will not be executed if price is not within a 1.5, 2 points of said swing high, swing low, as it's a risk management mechanism where if I see a shift in sentiment as price is pushing to a higher high, but sentiment is indicating a downward trend, that would be adequate reason to take a short. And similarly with lower low, inverse being true, and you can establish your risk parameters or your trade signals based on the proximity to the higher high or higher low, and then you want a confluence between market sentiment or other variables that you're using. Yes, sir.
What kind of time frames are you talking about for looking at higher highs and lower lows?
Hold on, I have a whole bunch of chats open. Who queried that?
The beach man did.
Oh, okay. It really depends on partially your time horizon. I'm not particularly fond of being reliant on some people, 1 minute candle, 15-minute candle, whatever. I don't really care. It's a way to organize the data and splice it. It's a constant flow of information. It's predominantly dependent upon risk parameters, but the more data you can feed into it, the better to gauge the shift in sentiment. If you want to use a 15-minute higher high, higher low, and then determine your sentiment based on 1 second data, 2 second data, and I'm not saying charts, I'm referring to the order flow, who's ticking the market up, who's ticking it down, then that would be a reasonably prudent approach. But all timeframes are slicing or slices of data and organization of it. Anyone that trades candlestick patterns, I've been going back and forth with Gecko about this. You shift the candlestick 15 seconds. Candlestick patterns are not static, and that primarily presents an issue, which all the data with which I work is predominantly tick data. So if you are a slightly longer time horizon trader, then great. Use a hour-long, 2-hour, 4-hour, higher high, higher low. And then you would want to evaluate sentiment as price goes into it. Is price consolidating at that high, but the market is predominantly ticking down, or the market is predominantly ticking down but remaining higher? And then you may want to fade, pretty much play a mean reversion trade on that. But it really depends on the frequency with which you may want to be trading. I wouldn't advise trading market microstructure, but I think going down as low as 15-minute higher high, higher low, and you have your sentiment determined based on low time horizon tick data can be reasonably prudent. As ultimately what you're attempting to capture is you're attempting to capture deviations in the market sentiment, and the lower the time horizon where you have an existing thesis, the more information there is to parse. But there must be an existing thesis of you want to trade a mean reversion, price is trading into a lower low, or let me structure this better. If you're taking an entirely unstructured trade, let's say not even going to base it on low volume nodes on volume profile, you're approaching it with the premise of, I want to trade mean reversions from overextension. The first indication will be, okay, we're making a lower low, or we've made a lower low. Price is within my stop loss range. Let's say your stop loss is 8 points. Okay, that premise is true. You then proceed to the second portion. What is the sentiment? Are we ticking up? Are we ticking down? If we're making a lower low, but the market is ticking up and price is remaining in a similar region, there's minimal interest to the downside. You have portion 2. And then you would say, okay, let's take a long there. But that's going to be based on no structure, higher high, higher low, and a market sentiment. You begin to incorporate structures such as just trading into an LVN. Well, that may become your A++ setup, where you now have underlying context of you're in an LVN, or the LVN extreme portion of it, as in you're making a lower low and you're coming into an LVN, you want to see the lower portion of that LVN tested, you would then take a long entry. But without that, you could say this is a B setup, but putting the underlying context, you now have an A setup. A very convoluted way of saying whatever fucking time horizon you want. But it's the most crucial component is you have the necessary confirmation to fade the existing direction, rather than only saying, oh, we're making a lower low, lower high. And you could use whatever time horizon you want. It's the more extended, the higher high, the lower low, the fewer signals you'll have. If you want to take 10 trades a day, then You could use a lower time horizon, but it's typically not particularly prudent because you'll be looking at a lower win rate since time horizon wise, statistically, you're more likely to continuously make lower lows with deviations in sentiment versus on an hourly basis. There needs to be more orders executed for price to go in a specific direction to test an hourly high or an hourly low, unless you're on a ripping trend day.
So basically, what you're saying is the shorter amount of time. I guess this is more of a corollary to what you're saying, but like the shorter amount of time that you're looking at in terms of trends, the shorter amount of time you should be in a trade that you make off that trend. Is that correct?
Yes, unless there's underlying context. If there's underlying context, bit of a different discussion, but I'm predominantly referring to no underlying context. When I said to zero, this is the first occasion today that there would have been a good place for a long entry. I wasn't even considering any context regarding that. And because I've been doing far too many other things today. If I look at some volume profiles from, we didn't even go into an LVN from last time we were trading down there was Thursday, December 20th. We have an LVN at 801. So maybe 801 would have been a high conviction setup, or 788. That was the low of day on December 22nd. But outside of those areas, yes, you are correct to assume that the lower the time horizon, the reduced duration in which in which you should expect a trade to come to fruition.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Because if you couldn't tell, I'm pretty new to this. Could you tell that?
No.
Okay. Well, the more I
everyone
talk, the
has
more you'll be able to
questions.
tell, I think. Yeah, I think that one of my biggest problems was, well, I mean, I haven't stopped doing it yet. Just literally now that you talked about it, it makes sense to me finally. Was looking at short-term charts and seeing lower highs or lower lows, higher lows, whatever.
Mhm.
Seeing a trend and then expecting that to continue over a longer period of time. Like I
Okay.
see, for example, I mean, at 12:39, we made a low for that little move. We're down to 8:20.75. Okay, well, if I had just been looking at a 3-second chart, I've been like, oh, I guess we're going down because we're making a lower
Mhm.
low. But that obviously isn't true, which is something that I'm starting to learn.
I'm about to make an exceedingly unpopular remark.
Okay.
I think it's entirely feasible to trade within a vacuum. But trading within that vacuum, the expectation is there needs to be concrete information and data confirming that there is adequate parameters to manage your risk. Risk management is not discussed frequently enough. A good trader is going to have phenomenal risk management, and that is their primary obligation, is managing their risk. Everyone says, oh, I have all this edge. I'm sorry. Many of the most profitable people I know don't have true alpha. They manage risk really damn well. And the better you can manage risk, the less money you're going to lose, or the less money you'll lose, B, the longer you can remain in the game until you find what is your edge, and C, it either is going to maximize the amount of money you may potentially make. But the lower the time horizon one is trading, the tighter the risk parameters must become.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Because something else that I was doing a lot was taking like a 12 tick stop loss on a trade that I was only, looking at like 3 minutes of time to decide whether I was going to do.
Okay.
Which I mean, I'm mostly doing sim, so I actually haven't lost much money at all. I mean, which I'm totally fine with. But looking back at what you're saying makes a ton of sense, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah, certainly. Risk management is something I very much enjoy discussing because a lot of people avoid it far too frequently.
I think I asked you this. If you think you can succeed strictly on risk management.
Ooh. Are we talking discretionary?
Yes,
Uh-huh.
discretionary.
I think for certain people, yes.
So you don't think you could? Like, if I just said you can only trade this pattern, this flying wedge axe pattern.
If I had the data, knowing my statistics, then yes. But I would have to have the data. I would need to know over, let's say, a 5-year period, especially patterns, 5-year period, 10-year period. What is the probability that the position comes to fruition? What's the expected move? If it's really anything outside, I think the only way trading with great risk management works for nearly anyone and everyone is if you're predominantly trading volatility. If you're trading only volatility, consolidation, and expansion, then yes. But if you're trading one touch, managing risk on one touch, good luck with that. I haven't met a single trader that's able to discretionarily trade one touch well with tight risk. I think tight risk coincides with trading when there is a contraction volatility. So yes, I think it is feasible, but it is, particularly from a discretionary perspective, it's quite dependent upon an individual. I know 2 individuals with a sub 30% hit rate, and they're profitable, but psychologically, most cannot accommodate a sub 30% hit rate. That's exceptionally tough to sustain psychologically.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean,
And and when you say only risk management, there still has to be an underlying thesis, such as I want to trade here, I want to trade there. If we're going to,
so just
if
say
one
like
is
double
Sorry.
bottoms and shit, right? Like there's a lot of people. I mean, somehow I feel like it can be accomplished. Like if you just trade, double bottoms, but your risk management is just insanely good.
Yeah, that's doable.
Yeah. Or tops,
It's still predominantly predicated on there at least being an underlying thesis of
Right.
I want to trade this, I want to trade that. If you're haphazardly taking positions of, oh, I'm going to enter here with 2-to-1, 3-to-1 R, maybe that's something pretty easy to test.
I think people confuse good risk management with luck as well. Because, given the example of playing blackjack in the casino, right? It's literally what we're doing today. Playing some form of blackjack. Some people know how to count cards, some people don't. Over the long run, you're going to lose money if you play by the house rules, regardless of what kind of risk management you use, what kind of psychology you have, all that kind of stuff. But if you learn how to count cards, you stack the odds in your favor, you can turn those probabilities around a bit. Now you're playing blackjack with an edge. That's where risk management and psychology really matter. They're the only thing that matters. I
Yeah.
guess that's my point.
No, that's something with which I fully agree. It's because you probably would concur that very few profitable retail traders have actual alpha, but they have good trade location, they have great risk management. But then when you have great risk management with actual alpha, that's wildly profitable, which is why it's few and far between.
I'd say it probably falls in the realm of they're lucky and they don't know why.
If they have, you're referring to if they have actual alpha that they're lucky, or which component?
If they're able to actually generate some sort of consistent profitability over the course of, say, months, and especially within like the first year or two of trading, just to kind of crack it out of the park right within the first year is just you really hit into something very lucky.
Oh yeah,
And you have no idea what's going on, but you keep doing the same thing and it's working.
you look at 2020 people that thought they were savants in 2020 and 2021 because the market only went up, a pretty precipitous run up, and then the market regime shifted. They were blown apart.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
that's a perfect situation.
Exactly. They got involved right when everything was easy. So all the seasoned traders were able to make a killing. All the new traders were actually able to look profitable at doing whatever it is they figured out they were doing. Taking one tick while risking 4, that kind of thing, because they see it during the day. Some little event happens that they know they can get one tick out of it.
It's the number of people that I know that I would frequently receive messages, oh, trading is really easy. I've grown my account trading options doing this. And then they blew up in about 2 to 3 months and went back. And several of them took options accounts from 10,000 to 90 over the course of 6 to 8 months. It's okay. But then a bad 1 to 2 months and they blew up entirely. Once the market started moving sideways and then down, they lost everything they made.
Right. A good example, I think, would be somebody who discovered covered call writing somewhere in May of 2020 and thought they were a genius, and only to be like completely smacked down throughout 2022. I mean, because if you're writing calls now, unless you're really good at it, I guess nobody was really making money doing that.
As there are instances where I think selling something which worked well, this all returns to having an underlying thesis on a position. But there are occasions where I sell premiums with the expectation of I want price to come down, I want to lose the premium, and then I have to cover the position and purchase the underlying shares. And that's occurred a fair bit this year, particularly with companies such as AMD, where I initially intended for it to be position accumulation for portfolio, but it turned into trades because we had an aggressive sell-off with AMD when AMD touched 55 earlier in the year. I had sold deep in the money calls, and what was that? That was midsummer or so. Thinking, oh, there's not a chance. I'll collect a premium, whatever. And then price came down in below 55, and I covered it. built a position, then we had a massive bounce. It's okay, why would I put this in a portfolio? But that once again returns to the premise of most of these people don't even have an underlying thesis. They think they thought stocks only go up, therefore this is easy.
Yeah. You need a strategy, I guess. And it takes a long time to figure out what that actually is.
As I have found, what complements me well is excellent risk management, and trading in regions where you have pretty substantial consolidations and volatility, because that allows me to manage my risk. And this returns to my one-touch premise of I can't trade one-touch well / if at all, because I can't manage my risk. I've said this far too many times. I'm more comfortable trading, let's say, 10 or 20 lots with 8 ticks of risk than I am trading 2 to 5 lots with 5 points of risk. That makes no sense. But I know the statistics at about 2 points or 6 to 8 ticks of risk. I know my numbers on that, and that's why I'm comfortable trading. At 5 points of risk, that skews my R to the low end of the spectrum, reduces the probability that long term I will be as profitable. I think for most of retail, it's exceedingly important that they have very good R. I usually like to have R sitting around 3 to 4 for a position. Therefore, if I'm looking at 6 to 8 ticks of risk, I want to be taking profit at 24 to 32 ticks. As I can have a bad day and be right, which I haven't had this occur in a while, but I could have a bad day and be correct 33% of the time at 4R. And I'm still slightly green on the day. I like that. It's viable to remain profitable or break even if there's a regime shift, because you have very good R and risk management. That's what's going to build resiliency in a strategy is good risk management.
Move back up in ESs.
It's insane. We were talking about this earlier, actually. Was that John? I guess you weren't here when we talked about it.
Yeah, it's me.
Yeah. I forgot when or what price exactly, but we're near 1725, and I said that this possibly is the end of the move to the downside. I was having a discussion with Red Pine Harvey.
Your daily level, basically it, right? That 1250. What was it low?
That was basic low, but it was through capital flow. I was like, okay, this could be the end. Luckily, I covered a lot of my shorts.
Further elaborating on swing highs, swing lows, it's also realistically, if you're going to use that, a trade signal should not occur until price is within your risk parameters. Let's say your risk parameters are 8 ticks. Until price is within 8 ticks of a higher high, higher low, or higher low, or sorry, higher high or lower low. And you have the confluence of variable confirmation, confluence of your confirmation variables which is when you can execute a trade. But the higher high, higher low allows you to very easily and quickly have your risk parameters defined to know when you should be entering and when you might not, and potentially should not, when you should or should not be entering. Particularly because a lot of people have a horrible proclivity to chase, which once again skews your R and affects a strategy's expectancy. But if your signals only occur when you have quote unquote trade signals, then that's as it should occur. And higher high, higher lows, once again, systematically allow you to define your risk quickly, easily, before you have a signal.
Hey, numbers, can you send it to me? If you get a chance. I'm gonna step away real quick.
Oh, wait. Oh, sorry. I thought, where did this go?
I have no clue.
Now I'm really confused. Because I was certain I sent it. Did I
That's
put
okay.
this?
No worries. I'll be right back though. But thanks. I'll be right
Yeah. Just- That's there we go. Well, dang it, imagine if you worked for Peloton and you received the comp in stock. If you started working for Peloton in December of 2020 with your options, actually, your options probably are going to be beginning to vest this year. You would have had your initial bonus package let's say you started working at Peloton beginning of the year 2020. You would have had your options awarded end of year at a value of $162 a share. It's now $8 a share. That would be rough. And most of them are down, but from the high, Peloton's down 93%. Also, I don't like Peloton, so.
You know what I don't like about Peloton is how in their commercials, like the instructors call the customer by the name of the company. Like that always really weirded me out. Did it weird anybody else out?
I've never noticed that.
Like, they'll be like the instructors and they'll be like, come on, Peloton, you can do this, Peloton.
Oh,
It's
yeah, okay,
super
yeah.
weird.
And their bikes are pretty much dirt cheap now. They offer refurbished, renewed, because they transitioned to quote unquote, we are a SaaS company. Their primary revenue now comes from subscriptions. I don't know how anyone possibly could have thought that the bike sales was sustainable and that their valuation was predicated on continued bike sale growth. But their bikes used to be 2,500, and now you can pick one up, I think, for 1,100 or less. All I do is I Zwift about 100 kilometers a day at the moment, and that's that.
You what?
Zwift, which connects to smart trainers. So here,
What the heck is a Zwift?
it's
Is it just another exercise bike?
no, it connects to smart trainers. It's a software slash, if you want to call it, a game. It's an open world cycling game where
Oh yeah, yeah, I've seen that.
yeah, that's probably 50% of my YouTube commercials are for Zwift because I spend 2 to 3 hours a day on Zwifting. So but it's far more engaging than spinning or because there's actually camaraderie, particularly with group rides or races, where there's an incentive to finish because you're in a group of people, and if you want to stop, you then see everyone ride off because you decided to stop. It's Zwifty. There are hubs which you can connect to a regular bike. I have a trainer, and then I also have my outdoor bike, but looks a bit different than a Peloton bike. A lot different. Dingif. That's something I have parsed since probably 2017 from one of the Fed's taper tantrums when they attempted to taper entirely unsuccessfully. And you have to initially establish a thesis. And the thesis being post 2008, quantitative easing commenced. It allowed Americans to entirely finance their lifestyle on free money without incurring debt due to low interest rates. And that's partially predicated on there not being real wage growth. Well, there not being cash comp growth. Correction. There's been wage growth, but almost all of the growth in wage has been allocated to healthcare expenditure. Thus, their cash comp doesn't appear to be rising. Now, returning to the premise of individuals financing their lifestyles on free money. There comes a point where that's no longer sustainable. And we right now are on the precipice of consumer collapse. But it's going to be determined by whose back breaks first. Will the Fed capitulate and continue the money printer with QE? Or will the consumer's back break, resulting in prolonged economic recession? This is going to be a bit of a different circumstance because an increase in interest rates is indicative that individuals can no longer continue to consume to the extent to which they had previously. When that occurs, the economy is going to be directly correlated with change in consumption habits. Where consumer sentiment is down pretty considerably. Consumer spending coincides with that particularly well. But individuals can no longer, at these interest rates, can continue to finance their lifestyle on free money. And they're going to incur debt in the process, reducing their ability to consume. And with the American economy predicated on the consumer, it's a question of whose back is going to break first. is it going to be permissible to have an extended recession of 5 to 6 to 7, maybe a couple more years where the market moves entirely sideways as a product of reduced consumer or reduced consumption among Americans? And if that's considered permissible, then we're not going to see a return to QE. But the economic hardship Americans and others globally incur through this process is not going to be pleasant. And that's the harsh reality of it was going to be one of two outcomes. Either we continue QE, similarly to what you've seen in Japan, or we raise interest rates, see a collapse of the consumer, and have an extended recession that's been different than others due to the inability to continue the economic growth, which has really, well, pretty much post World War II growth period. It's unless there's substantial improvements in labor productivity, in labor/worker productivity, it's quite tough. Demographic curve. It's quite tough to believe that we're going to encounter a similar period of economic prosperity that occurred between 1940 and 2008, 2020, unless there's substantial change in worker productivity, because we're going to see a substantial decrease in labor force participation rate. You've already had population peak in China, or I think last year. Most Asian countries have had population peaks already. The demographic curve is going to affect that, resulting in larger tax burdens on younger generations to support the aging population demographic, reduce labor force participation rate due to recession, with also fewer workers available to work jobs. I'm not particularly fond of the economic conditions which are presenting due to historical factors. But if there is a considerable increase in labor force productivity, this could change. So, population demographics and low interest rates. However, boomers, they're in a great place because they've had reasonably low interest rates. The stock market's done great since they entered the workforce. And now, with higher interest rates, they can put all their money, they can take all their money out of the stock market, put it into a high interest savings account at 6 or 7%. And be yielding 6 or 7% off a high yield savings account. Pretty good gig. Yeah, I don't have a 401k account. It's partially timing, but also I will say though, the opportunities to deviate from a traditional narrative and be wildly successful are greater now than ever. Yeah, boomer generation. Well, continued quantitative easing is MMT, and it depends on your economic school of thought whether or not you're a proponent of MMT. I am not. Because if you have an increase in the M2 supply facilitated through government spend, well, the government spending is facilitated through an increase in the M2 supply through money, as in money creation. But technically not raising taxes, you have an increased circulation of money, depreciating a currency. And granted, we're now off Bretton Woods. We've been off Bretton Woods since the 70s. Global military hegemony is what's going to determine the value of a currency more than the amount in circulation. But MMT doesn't work particularly well if all countries were to engage in such, particularly because you're beginning to see a contraction in globalist tendencies, more or less an inversion towards isolationism with fewer globalist tendencies in countries. Regarding a CBDC, the US dollar's value as a reserve currency is entirely predicated on transactions for oil continuing to be denominated in US dollars. That's predominantly where the value of the US dollar originates now. After going off Bretton Woods, the agreement with the Saudis in the 70s for all oil sales to occur in US dollars led to a demand for dollars to purchase oil. And now you have to parse the question of, okay, a country wants to begin developing. What do they need to develop? They need energy. Okay, but they don't have money to secure US dollars. If they don't have the adequate funds to secure US dollars, they receive a loan in bond. It increases the issuance of US bonds, resulting in foreign countries being holders of bonds, and to repay that debt and to purchase energy, they must use dollars. And that's where the reserve currency and global hegemony of the dollar originated, was that almost all transactions for energy were predominantly, for the most energy, was occurring in US dollars. I'm trying to think of the book. 3 Days at Camp David or something, which entirely discusses Bretton Woods. I think is a worthwhile read for most people. But US dollar, I refer to it as the petrodollar, because the hegemony of the US dollar is entirely dictated by transactions occurring in US dollars, more than anything else, and as well as the ability to project previously military power.
Are you talking about modern monetary theory?
I briefly mentioned it regarding something else before when Ryu had the query, but then Dingith asking about CBDC USD usage for.
Oh, I see. Okay. I was going to make a similar remark. If you guys want to know how to not overtrade, let me know. No, that's no. Booze is how to overtrade.
Yeah, it looks as if he was scared off risky. Yeah.
The best way to not overtrade, play video games. I do notice that dang it, I do overtrade when I was streaming. But yeah, just play video games. And you did scare him off. He was active and then you came in. I'm joking.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, overtrading though allows you to hit 60-yard, doesn't it?
If you're skilled, if you're skilled. Dang it, you're right. And that's why and it's really, something that I talked to members about. I'm gonna lower my stream time. If based on like sleeping and trading on these odd hours, because it's really late here. It's like almost 3 o'clock. And yeah, I'm gonna just stream the mornings from now on. I wouldn't say put on a show, but I do feel the pressure, especially since I'm longer term, to kind of narrate, like Fat Cat does. But I'm not Fat Cat. Fat Cat's not me. So we just, I'm just here, kind of like a coworker to everyone, right?
But have you and Fat Cat been sitting in the same room at the same time, touching the same person?
Wait, what? That sounds
Exactly.
sexual, dude.
No,
I've never calculated. I've never like parsed it from just streaming and non-streaming. I don't think I don't do too well. I mean, to be honest with you, like Fat Cat and I talked one weekend. I think Harvey was there, Specs was there, uh, Risky was there. It was just a random thing that Specs and I and Fat Cat decided to jump on and kind of talk about. So everyone else just kind of joined randomly, I think. But I think my average R per week is like at 9. Like today was exceptional. Um, but I think average is 9. Like I have shit days. Yesterday was a shit day. So if you average it out, I'm probably up, I don't know, 13R. And there's no telling what's going to happen in the next 2 days, right? So my average win is 9R per week that day. So not very good. I don't know what it is on stream. What's your average numbers, if you don't mind me asking? What?
On a weekly basis?
Yeah, what's your average R per week?
Past month hasn't been particularly great. Right now, month to date, I'm sitting up. Sorry, on a weekly, my average R per day is, I should have these right here. I have actually working on something in this code, but right now my daily R is sitting about 5 to 9 is the range, much lower than normal, and weekly average this month is at say month to date, month to date, the average is 36 on the month. In previous months, it was typically between 40 and 55 for, yeah. So the trading hasn't been great this month. It's been reasonably choppy. Order flow has been all over the place. Oh yeah, fuck no. Per session, Bellasaurus, I'm usually right now this month, as I said a moment ago, very low end. My low for this month was 5, and my highest for one session this month was 19. But the average is, the mean is about 9 per session right now. And I need to preface all this, as I always say, my R is horribly skewed because my risk is very tight. 9 per session or 18? No, not 18 per day. No, not even close to that. I don't know anyone averaging that.
Yeah, you do.
I also know the Dalai Lama, I guess. Friend.
Yeah, he's a nice dude.
Yo, don't let the Chinese hear you say that. You're gonna get banned.
Yeah, but Bellasaurus, no, not it's I trade Globex a bit, but predominantly RTH.
Ryu, I guess it helps in a sense of looking at ES a lot. But it's a double-edged sword because I'm looking at ES a lot. There are many days where I will never look at ES if I was just, back in the day when Fat and I used to just post our P&Ls every single day, like fully put P&L, like screenshots. I never would. I think I would touch ES maybe once every other week, and now I'm a little bit more predominant ES just because I know that's what most of you guys trade, so I'm trying to provide that value. But I think it's quite bad. For instance, yesterday there's really no trades to be taken, in my opinion. But yeah, I traded it, and because I'm looking at it so often and trying to narrate it, yeah. So I don't know if that makes sense.
Yesterday on ES wasn't. I didn't consider it to be a particularly great day.
Oh, it was shitty. It was really horrible.
As RTH, yeah.
It's not really a sacrifice, right? It's just more like sometimes if you stare at something way too much, you can talk yourself into trades. And
Easily.
yeah, I wouldn't even look at ES if it wasn't, for the room, I guess. Or not every single day, at least.
Can I say yesterday was reasonably boring?
Yeah.
Who knows?
I'm not trying to sacrifice anything. I just am trying to help, but it's not really a sacrifice. It's still on me to not overtrade and do stupid shit.
Yesterday, I didn't have any signals middle of the day. Pretty much beginning of day, end of day. It was boring, and it was not a great day. Oh, oops, sorry. Forgot to take the center portion. There's time at the bottom. They are a bit out of order. So took a stop. Wasn't a great day. Great. Blue marks. No, it's not a new setup. It's more or less a different way to visualize. As let me go to
Well, Numbers is looking for that. This is not a slight towards Fat Cat, because he does great work, but I try not to mute everyone like he does so that we can have a discussion. So sometimes that kind of like draws my attention towards something else, which kind of sucks, but at the same time, it's on me.
so Dingus. It's a slightly different visualization of this. Green line, no, that's higher high, higher low. Purple line is higher high, higher or lower low. Green line's higher high. Therefore, the entirely dark chart, the signals are only occurring when a price is within risk management parameters. Therefore, I would only have a signal when price is within 2 points of a lower low or higher high. Anywhere in between? No. Should we allow the group? Should we allow the group to respond to a Tinder message?
Wait, sorry. What did you say? Allow the group to what?
Should we allow the group to respond to a Tinder message because I'm scrolling through my Tinder right now?
Yeah, that would be fucking hilarious. You got to snapshot it though, so we can see.
This is a bit delayed. This was sent to me on Christmas. I almost
Isn't there
never...
like a challenge or some kind of trend that does that?
What?
Have like, oh no, someone on stream. This girl on stream allows guys to respond to her, her text messages or some shit like that. And she got like a shit ton of views.
I'm a couple days late. I was going to respond the day after Christmas and make a Boxing Day joke about since the day after Christmas is Boxing Day in Canada. I was going to do something along the lines of, what was I going to say? Something along the lines of, well, it is Boxing Day, so I'll open you up right now. Every pun intended with that.
You see this?
But it's now December 28th, so I can't even use the Boxing Day reference. I can't say this publicly. Oh, okay. Not saying that. Oh, I have some very vulgar responses which could be viable. Oh, jeez. Jesus Christ. I need to stop distracting myself. I need to stop looking at Tinder. Send you a message as to 0 as to why I need to stop looking at Tinder.
You should respond with okay.
Oh, wait. I may be a bit late. I should wait until January 7th to respond. Why January 7th? Because that's Orthodox Christmas, and I can make a joke about being a priest. It would at least be original. In all candor, most dating apps are for entertainment. My response rate is far too low.
Why use Tinder? Why not use Coffee Meets Bagel or Bumble?
And I do have Hinge and Bumble as well.
Okay.
I actually prefer Hinge, but I rarely respond to people on either of them.
I remember when I used to be on it. That shit was annoying.
Bumble, they message you first. Hinge, it's at your discretion. If there's more, I've had better outcomes with Hinge. There's more content off of which I can work on a profile to actually facilitate a discussion that there may be mutual interest. Versus I can look at a dating profile and know quite quickly their intentions based on how it's constructed. They don't even have to disclose it. It's did you get day trade? Also, some of the I've probably met two of my closest female friends through dating apps. That's probably one of the most underappreciated. So therefore, Belisarius, if you want to make some friends, you can use Bumble and select Bumble friend. Yeah, I've never used the friends portion of it. If there aren't any questions at the moment, I'm probably going to go eat lunch. If there are, I'll answer them and then go eat.
I'm good, but I'll probably hit you up in regards to what we're talking about.
Yeah, by all means. I'll give it a few moments if
Yep. Thanks,
nobody
man.
posts. Yeah. Ah, shit! I'm out of kimchi. Fuck.
Later, man.
Yeah, I'll be back probably a little bit later. I'm actually gonna go chop up some Napa cabbage, put it in a salt brine, so I can have pretty much make some fresh kimchi later. Yep. Take care, everyone. I'll probably be back on in an hour or something. We'll see. All right. Take care. Goodbye.
I'm probably gonna cut back and trade half day. Well, half day meaning half of the US session, but most of the time I'll be trading the Europe and first half of the US session. Other than that, I need to cut back, staying up till 7 a.m. every single fucking day, waking up at, because you're never really fully charged after sleeping odd hours. Um, I wake up maybe at best, or not best, but I usually wake up at like noon, and that's like I'm barely getting any sleep. But usually I wake up at like 2 o'clock, and it's just really bad for my health. So I'm gonna cut down. I think for the most part, everyone's trading. Uh, I'm gonna focus more on pre-market prep. I know, Ryu, it doesn't really pertain to you since your schedule or your time zone is similar to mine. But I would say, I'm gonna give my market prep. That's more important. People should know from how to trade from there, and then um, just go from there. I think market prep is probably the most important part, anyways. Yes, it's cool to hear what people are thinking, uh, as far as like buyers and sellers. And I'll do that for the opening, at least for like the first half. But once Europe closes, I'm probably done. Because I'll enter a trade and just leave it, like I did today. Just you know, you manage it first half, and then the last couple of lots, just let it run and see where it goes. And if it stops me out, it stops me out.
After some good trades today, Zero.
Thanks, man.
I made some money off the kind of the high. I got in
Oh,
around
you got to get
seven.
into good trades. Oh, good stuff.
No, no. I was I was in the same trade, but not for long. Not. I didn't hold it as long as you did. Though. I wish I did.
You talking about the ES one or the crude?
Yes, of course, your
Oh.
crew is way better, but still, yeah, you had some good trades today for sure.
Yeah, I mean, as long as we all make money together, right? That's the thing is, yeah, we just want to make money and preserve capital. Yeah, Ryu, I've honestly, like, yesterday I was really fucking tired, so I didn't do well as far as trading and feeling alert. So managing time has been really tough for me, especially since I have to go back and forth from the co-working space and walking home, um 6 o'clock in the morning or whatever. It's pretty shitty. So but we just rented a place, so I'll be trading from home, having my screens. We already bought screens and everything. The internet actually comes in tomorrow. We have to pay someone fucking ridiculous amount of money so that they can pull like the fastest fiber possible to our new apartment. So once that gets going, things should be easier for me. But yeah, I don't know who actually does like the whole European session, but I'll be doing that. So, and it's gonna be slow, but I'll do my best to narrate like the day that they type what I'm looking for. Like today, actually, my trade came, 1 hour prior to open, or sorry, 30 minutes prior to open. That short in ES, but other than that, we're just taking steps. Yeah, Risky does EU session, but Risky doesn't really need my help as far as seeing capital flow. Well, actually, I don't know if he knows capital flow, but he has his own methodology. While you guys were talking to numbers, which is always a good thing, I actually took a short at 39.25 once we basically bounced the daily -1 level.
Damn, that was a good one too. I wanted to go back on the retest, but it didn't come back.
Yeah, I noticed the way it was moving, it was really taking stops. And once we hit that -1, I was like, okay, I'm just going to have a sell stop in place to take it to the short side. I just mitigated risk. I didn't take any other profit. And I'm still aiming for 03. So we'll see what it does there. I can tell you that as far as the risk spreads go, we're looking pretty low right now. And also, I don't know if you were here, John, or Ryu too. You were talking about how that was a possible low of the day. And I still think it is. So this trade will be overnight, aiming for 03.
That's nuts.
Well, we have, again, I mean, I think I said it already, but we have a major level at 17.25, and then you look at the risk spreads and everything. That was pretty much, why we concluded that 17.25 was, a level that we can basically assume the low is in. Now, of course, 11 just hit, not 11, but sorry. The second capital flow or second flow of money is coming in, so we definitely could be going lower, but we just have to kind of see. But if you're not already short, I think it's a tough call to get short. Harvey, did you do okay today?
Yeah,
Yeah,
not
right.
near.
Hmm?
Sorry,
No, go ahead. Not
not
what?
nearly as good as you did, but I probably got like 5.2R.
Oh, that's good.
I
So
upsized, so that's what makes the difference. So now,
you
now
upped
never
your
mind.
size?
Yeah, never mind, because now the R is going to be. Never mind.
Okay.
Yeah, that wouldn't. It's going to throw it all off. So no, I made money. How about that?
Yeah, that's good.
I don't look at it like the way everybody looks at it. Like I have this. About when I was working at a normal job, like $300-400 was a lot of money per day. If I can come anywhere near that, I'm cool. I'm cool with it. I don't need to make $6,000 a day. I would like to, but I don't need to.
It's not about money. That's why I quote things in R, right? You should look at things in R. Just like when you play poker. If you're in $100 table, $1,000 table, or $100,000 table, if you're up, $5,000 on $100 table. That's a lot better than if you're up $5,000 on $100,000 table, right? So you got to look in that sense. If you're up, 5% or whatever the fuck it is, 5R, that's good. But if you just say, oh yeah, I'm up $5,000. Well, I don't know how much you risk. Maybe you risk 25,000 and make $5,000. If that's the case, then you suck as a trader. But if you risked $1,000 to make $5,000, that's good. Good shit. What I've learned about that 252 trading days, I never quote things in that sense.
I'm just trying to because realistically, that's not even close. So I would say more like 200. Because you're gonna have sick days, you're gonna have whatever,
slow days,
whatever.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have the offset days, right? Like so, yeah. Like let's just say I'm shooting for 250 a day. There's gonna be days that you don't make 250. It's actually gonna be backsetting, right? Like there's gonna be days that you lost 250.
Yep.
And there's gonna be days that you made 1,500. So
yeah,
like it's not.
That's why
it's
we
not,
talk in
It's
terms
just
of
a good looking thing where you can say, look, it's not about making huge. Like 5,000 a day is a lot of money, right? Like
yeah. It's
I've
not
done it any
about
day.
it's not about that initial sprint, right? That day, like you made $5,000 a day, but you lost fucking $6,000 yesterday, right?
Yeah, or like 1,000 6 days in a row. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So no, it's good. I mean, I do the same thing. I do the calculations of per trading days per year.
I've never been good on any of my businesses using imaginary math.
Yeah,
I say, like, okay, so like, let's just say, like, somebody's like, oh, I landed this big contract, and I'm like, did you get the deposit? Well, no, and I said, you don't got shit then. And they're like, well, no, but the guy really wants to do the deal, and I'm like, let me ask you again, did you get the deposit?
Yeah.
No, well, then you don't got shit, man. Like, it's like, oh, I bought a house. I say, can I see the keys? I don't have the keys yet, and I'm like, well, you don't got shit.
Yep.
It's like you don't have it until it's there. It's unrealized, right? Like unrealized. I'm a Bitcoin millionaire.
No,
Are you?
probably not anymore.
Because you didn't realize it. You see, that's the point. I'd love to talk to some Bitcoin millionaire now and be like, what? You know what he's gonna say? It'll be back. That's what the guy said to me last time.
Yeah.
It'll be back. I'm like, okay, dude, sure. Maybe it was, but why would you sit around and wait for it? That's my point. Why are you tying up all your capital to wait like this? Like and plus it's Bitcoin. Crazy.
What a dick.
Much have you liquidated a bunch of your guys' holdings, or because I know your wife probably has some sort of.
We liquidated last November.
Did get out good.
I told her get the fuck out, and she goes,
Yeah,
"Why?"
well,
I'm like,
I told you so. Shut it.
No. It's like it's more like she goes, "Well, it's been so hot." I'm like, yeah. It makes no fucking sense. And trust me,
No, it's been so hot is the actual answer. That's why you should get rid of it.
Well, I told her tech's gonna be bad, and she goes, "But tech is the future." It doesn't mean that it's gonna be good.
Doesn't mean it's not. Yeah, it's overpriced. That doesn't mean we're at the right price point for the tech that we have.
Yeah.
Right. Like we've like the whole market's like look at all this recovery, and all these majors. Really, do they even fucking care? They have no fucking concept about it. They don't care. Guess what? They paid zero. It's the gangster mentality. When I pay zero for something that I stole and I sell it for fucking $5 or say 60% off what the normal price is, what the fuck do I care? I just made money for nothing. Do you really think it takes Apple? Like I said, business, not the sole purpose. One of the major driving things for all business is to pay salary. That's the goal. Now, somebody asked me once, what's a normal profit ratio or whatever? I said, well, that's directly reflected by salary. Now you can pull up anybody you want. Name a major company. I'll do it for you right now. Name me a major company.
Uber.
Uber?
Yeah. All right, so name me a major company. I just did.
seconds here.
Short
Okay,
29.50.
so sorry, go ahead.
I'm short 29.50.
Okay, so the CEO annual salary, 12 million.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
a crook.
You see how profit margin goes directly with salaries. Okay? They've got to put it. They're putting it somewhere, and they're not going to give it back to the shareholders. Okay? You get what I'm trying to say? They're not going to give it to the drivers. They're not going to give it to the shareholders. They got to up the salaries, which directly reflects profit margins.
I'm taking some off here. Sorry, this is just a scalp, by the way.
It's pretty aggressive.
Yep.
The angle of it was pretty sweet.
You know, it's funny. This is exactly what Ryu was talking about. Fucking, fucking over trading when I'm on stream. I'm not on stream, but still, I'm looking at it more than I should.
So wait a second. Isn't over trading only a problem if you lose?
No, actually,
I know.
I don't have to
Bad
yell at you.
habits, but I was just making a stupid joke.
My R. Oh, sorry, that was towards Harvey. Right. Mar is not as low as numbers or riskies or fat cats for sure. My R is not as low as that. Yeah. Mar is much higher.
You be hitting them home runs.
No, but no. That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant to elaborate on. What I was trying to get at was, I take a lot more risk. So, like, you know how Number said that you can't take 5 points of risk off of, you know, I don't know, 2 contracts or whatever. I'll take that. If my setup calls for it, I'll take it. I haven't done it. I don't do it often, but my normal risk is about 2.5 to 4 points of risk. Points, not ticks. So, and in that
makes sense, because if you're at the edge, right?
Yeah.
Like that makes sense.
And it differs from product to product. So let's just say ES, I have a 4-point stop, just an example, right? It's usually about 2.5. You know, maybe up to 3, but in like wheat or like lean hogs, it'll be a lot bigger. It might be, you know, triple that drawdown. So me adding to the short, again, risk is off. I don't, even if it comes back to my stop loss, my original stop loss, I still made money off of it, and I'm still aiming for 38.03. So I'm just adding on to the trade idea that I originally had. Not sure if you guys get that, but yeah.
Yep. I fully understand.
Like we talked about, the goal is just to constantly be in the market, whether it's up, down, left, or right. Well, maybe not left or right, but damn, fucking crude oil. Why didn't I hit the reverse button? That would have been so awesome. Harvey, you got my indicator, right?
Which one?
The daily levels.
I don't have. Which one do you use for pivots?
No, the daily levels.
I'm asking. Yes, I have that.
Okay.
Which one do you use for your pivots, though?
No, but go click on crude oil. It should show the daily levels for you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But you want me to like, oh, this is an ego stroking thing. Sure, hold on a sec. Let me get over to it.
No, there's no ego stroking. I'm just saying after it bounced that level, that the active level, look at where it went up to.
Man, I'm not gonna go back and forth with you about this
What?
math. It works, man. You don't have to make
No. I'm just saying, like, sometimes
I believe it, man. I
we're
believe it works good.
we're so distracted that we don't see it. And it's actually a
No, there's
good
so
thing.
many things. Yeah, it's such a broad. How many screens are you running right now?
I'm only
6
running
or
2, and this is a portable travel monitor and my laptop.
It's not a very good quality. Is that what?
Yeah, it's not. But
But
again,
you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I get you.
just-
There's a lot of stuff to be looking at here. Like, and that's the thing with traders. They're like, people just want it to make it like, what indicator? Okay, now what? And then it's done. Like, that's it. You don't have to do anything else. Real simple. I push the button now, and that's it. And it's nowhere near.
Yeah.
It's nowhere near
Ryu,
like that.
Ryu, I don't know if you were here earlier. If you weren't, let me know. I can talk about it if you
Want to see a fucking levels? Take a look at your Russell and your fucking.
I already saw that. I just didn't want
Jesus,
to point it out.
man. You fucking.
Yeah, I saw it. Sorry.
That's titties. Like,
Jeez, fucking shit.
yeah, man. With the tassels and the whole fucking bit. Yeah, man. That's what that is.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
I
here it is. Yeah. Panda
Jesus.
power. That's for you, buddy.
Ryu, I shorted crew. I think it was 79. Here, I'll look. 1 second. I shorted crew.
You announced that short in the morning before the market opened.
Yeah, that was pretty cool short actually. I shorted crude at 79.46, 45. Anyways, the premise is the reason why I shorted up there because we're really close to our major level. And capital flow says short. And then from there, the idea was to short all the way up to 77.45, which is about slightly over $2. And then once we got there, or actually before we even got there, we're like halfway. The thesis was once shorting up there, we're gonna get, hopefully we get there, 77.45, and I expect a bounce. I didn't expect this bounce, but I expected a scalping bounce is what I thought. And it aligns with the daily active levels and everything else. So that was a really good bounce. And again, did not expect that. I expected a small bounce. Small bounce meaning, maybe I don't know, 75 cents or something. But
Oh, when you say I expected a bounce, that's fine. Is there a certain
magnitude bounce?
yeah.
Well, here's the thing that
No, a certain design of how it's going to bounce. Like you're like, are we gonna bounce? Is it gonna be like a V bottom? Is it gonna be like a? Because that was kind of a funny bottom.
it was a great bottom. It was a great bottom in a sense where we pause long enough for you to get along, for you to wait.
To convince.
Yeah, like like
It's
numbers.
also it's almost like it's fooling people though. Like that's the way I see it, kind of.
Yeah, and possibly. So you're just watching a price action. You're watching a whatever you want to watch, right? Whatever method you use to enter a trade, you're watching that. So once it got there, again, I'm completely exited. I'm out of the trade. Now, capital flow tells me we're still leaning short for now. But that doesn't mean I have trade location. Doesn't mean I can enter a short anywhere and everywhere. So it was just expected bounce. And actually, when I announced this in my other trade chat that I'm short here and a couple other people are short, and we're actually all aiming for the same area. And when we got out, it was only like 2 other people, but we're like, oh, what a great bounce! Like good call on it, like all of us. Someone brought it to my attention, like, hey, that's also the 200 hourly moving average, which again we don't trade off of. It's just something that you pay attention to, and we're like, holy shit, like that's added confidence where you could kind of take things off. But yeah.
I will say the more you look, the more you can find. So it's almost like it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, you're right.
It's like
right.
It's like the settings on any indicator. You give me any indicator, you give me enough time, I can make the settings look like they work.
Right.
Day or whatever. Like I can manipulate it to make it almost work and be like, look, see, it works. And it's like, yeah, but I mean, fuck. Does that work tomorrow? Does it always work? Like, and but none of these things always work either. That's the other thing with this.
The difference is that the market prep was already there. It was just an added confluence, is what I'm saying.
Oh, I agree.
There's a difference. Yeah. There's a difference between like, oh yeah, it works because it bounced off that. No, it's because we were already having that idea based on our setup that was going to bounce there. And
exactly. And that's what I was telling you about that thing that I sent you that you're looking at now. It's just an extra thing to just keep you out of trouble, almost, is what it is. Or it's like, holy shit, look at that. Like, do you see how well it worked on crude at the beginning? It was perfect. It was almost perfect, right? So when it works really well. But when it's not a sole thing. It's not like it's the live all or end all or. It's just there to add with it. Yeah, it's just to add to something. You're like, okay, now what do I look at here? If it's in the wrong kind of position, you got to kind of question. You're like, wait a second. It's not really saying would it like I shouldn't really be short here, should I? So maybe you need to wait a little bit. So it's just going to kind of keep you out of trouble a little bit for a little bit better timing, if you were.
Mm-hmm.
Potentially, right? Yeah. Like I said, it's only in the best spots, right? Like only extensions and stuff that it really works really well. Are you at a co-working space right now?
I am. I'm here, and no one's here, and it's
That's 2 o'clock in the fucking morning there.
No, it's not. It's 3:30.
Oh, awesome. That's even. So when do you get to talk to the Asian cops again? Did they pick you out of because you're a tourist or not a tourist, but because you're not a local?
I've been questioned by cops before, for smoking. This is before COVID, or stupid shit. But they're usually very scared of me because I'm not a normal Asian sized guy. So they're usually very scared. Not scared, but they won't try to try to flex and shit. Yeah, they're not like American cops where they're just dicks, right?
American cops, yeah, great.
Yeah, they're fucking assholes. But yeah, so I was really taken back by this. First of all, it was 3 of them, and then one of the cops came up to my face, and I actually pushed them away. I was like, "Why are you getting so close to me?"
Intimidation, right? That's one of their things.
Yeah, I literally put my hand on his chest and I pushed him. Like, why are you so close to me? Because I don't really give a shit. I know, I'm not
You don't want to be sitting in the clink over there, though, man. I don't think that's a cool spot.
No. In Hong Kong, they can't do what they do in China.
Right. Oh, yeah, and you're not in Thailand. I was thinking, if you're in Thailand,
in Thailand, I don't fuck with that shit, dude. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Fucking Thailand prison is horrific.
Yeah, right.
From what I heard. But yeah, I mean, I was just taken back. It's like, why are you so close to me, man? I wasn't I didn't shove him. I just put my hand on his chest and I just hey, back off, dude. You're here bitching to me about COVID, about smoking and not having a mask on, which kind of is idiotic. But at the same time, you're 2 inches away from my face, and you want to talk to me about COVID.
Yeah, well, especially somebody has that much interaction with the public.
Right.
Like
And-
no respect, really. It's showing you no respect because it's rude almost, right? Like
the funniest thing, the funniest part is that he goes, how do you know how to speak Chinese? I was like, because I watch, because I learn and I watch, like
walk with the end.
Hong Kong fucking, TV shows. He goes, oh, your parents must be from Hong Kong. I'm like, they're not. They're like, oh, do they live in Hong Kong? I'm like, no, they live in the US. And they're like, were you born in Hong Kong? I'm like, no. And they're like, then you're lying to us. You must be, because I didn't have my passport. I was like, oh, you must be lying that you're from Hong Kong, but you're not giving us your ID. And they're like, there's no way your Chinese is so good. And I just looked at him like, oh, thanks, man. Like,
Yeah, like your Chinese is that good.
Yeah. I was like genuinely like, oh, thanks, man. It's like, oh, thanks.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, that's really cool. I actually looked at him like, oh, thanks. That's really nice of you.
Surprise.
Yeah, I should have went with the Jackie Chan. But like, I mean, and they're like, oh, do your parents speak Cantonese? Then they got into the whole like, trying to find out where I'm from. And then I finally found my passport on my phone. And they saw it and they didn't have a choice but to believe it.
Again, let's circle back to what the fuck are you bugging me for? Like,
I have no fucking clue why they're
smoking a cigarette with not a mask. Like you said, like what? It's
it's
not on my
anal.
chin. Like, come on, give me a fucking it's in my pocket or.
They're anal. They're really anal about it. And they asked me, they're like, "Oh,
you're outside."
No, you can only smoke on private property. That's the law.
So you were inside?
No, I was outside. I already knew that you. Well, I'm never that type of asshole to smoke in front of people who don't smoke anyways.
Sure.
So
I'm the same. I was the same way.
Yeah, like if I'm smoking and there's a child that comes by or near me, I would run away like, I had leprosy.
That's respectable.
Yeah. So I was already smoking between like two tall ass buildings in like some dirty ass alley that's fucking half lit. All these smokers are reduced to that. So I don't know why they were giving all this shit. But anyways, it was pretty funny. It's like I've never experienced it. I've had cops like talk to me, and they're very respectful, which I always praise them for because like it doesn't cause animosity towards the citizens, unlike like fucking US, where one of my best friends is a cop, and I tell him to stop beating black people all the time.
Laugh my fucking ass off.
No, because he's white, right? And it's the best thing ever. Just keep on telling him, stop fucking being black people, asshole. Like each time there's a news story about cops, being black people, I would text him and be like, "Hey, was this you?" Clearly, it wasn't him because it wasn't even the same goddamn state. But I would just text him that was this you? And of course, he would not be happy. I went on a ride along with him in LA, and that was quite interesting. I suggest everyone go on a ride along with a cop. Dude, I need to buy that mask.
Actually, look a little closer. It's actually a baby wipes.
Yeah, I know. I saw that.
Oh, there's even better one here. What was it? This is funny too. This one.
What? Oh, that's just two masks.
It's just two masks. Yeah.
Oh, maybe I should just do that. I have those masks.
Yeah, just take a puff. Where you go?
Hey, have you seen that mask where it's like a duck? A duck bill? Anyone?
I've seen all the masks.
Yeah, I have that.
You have that?
Yeah.
Where'd you get it? Duck bill mask.
Chinese people sent it to me.
Good answer.
What a
Good
day.
answer.
No. My friend's family's in China, and they had COVID first, and they had like a bunch of masks during the first round, and then she was like, "Oh, my family's gonna send it over because they don't do anything with it anyways." And then we wore it for a while.
Oh, Jesus. Can one of you guys send that to me, please?
Does it actually look like a duck? Because it's actually a style of mask, eh? Like,
Yeah, it's I think it's this one right here.
there is an actual style that is, right?
Oh my god, I need this so bad. I'm gonna troll the
Oh,
fucking.
yeah.
Oh no, my one looks like this one. It's
That
easier
one,
to eat
exactly.
and talk and stuff with this one.
I don't think I needed it for it to eat, bro. I just wanted to troll these fucking people who
Yes, exactly. There you go, Emperor. That's the one.
which one?
I
Oh
have a funny
god.
story from work. It's exactly like that.
Oh, you're talking about that one. Oh, okay. No, I'm talking about actual duck looking one. If I got yours, Red Pie, I'll probably just spray paint the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you want to.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
breathe.
Inhale.
Seal it up nice and tight.
Yeah.
So, Zero, how far out can you look on your stock market predictions or whatever? Like, what do you think is going to happen tomorrow?
Bro, I don't know that.
Yeah, you in the morning. That's when you figure it out, or like when you.
Dude,
when,
I'm not like some guru, man. I'm just looking at levels and looking at capital flow. But as far as like my guess is that we're gonna touch 03.
And what you typically don't start really kind of looking at the market until like Euro open.
No, I look at Asia session. I don't ever trade Asia session. I think it's fucking silly
slow.
for anyone to trade it. I don't
It's
know
really
how.
slow. It's really hard.
What?
It's really slow. It's really hard. It's almost unpredictable. It's
Yeah, I think you can't see true bias. Now, if you're already in a position, yeah, sure, you can exit at a level. But to enter at a level, I would not. I think that's the worst thing ever. I don't know how Risky does it. I think it's just way too thin
I
for
don't know
me.
if he does much of the Asian, but like he does the Euro for sure, because that would make sense, right? Like that's
Yeah, I don't
where he
know.
lives.
For me, I just can't. I mean, there's a lot of times I'll touch a level, and I'm like, "Fuck, I missed it." But then I'll look back and I'll look at the orders filled, and it would just would not have filled me. And not that because I trade large size, just because there's like one contract or zero contracts executed there. But it did touch a level, but it's validated once it touches that level. So,
Oh,
yeah.
I did have a question for you. Sorry, was somebody I was watching? I'm looking at something else.
So,
oh yeah, okay. So you've been trading for a while, right? Like, what do you think you've got? Like 10 years or something? Like, what did you say?
I don't remember.
Like quite a few years, right?
Yeah.
At what point? And at this point, how long could you walk away from it without kind of? I feel like if I walk away for I don't know, say an extended period of time, any edge that I have, like I'm not saying that I have a magical edge, any edge that I do have, I would be kind of concerned that I would lose the edge that I have. If I take any time off. So I guess the question was, or is, what point were you like confident enough in your trading? Like, and I know it's different from everybody. So like, if you say 5 years or if you say 8 years, that's going to be different for everybody. But at what point could you walk away for X amount of time, still feel pretty confident when you came back that you didn't really kind of lose anything, if you were?
So, for me, I don't think you lose the edge per se, you kind of lose track of things. So so for me, I'm reading the market, right?
Mhm.
And then when I step away, Jesus Christ, that was a quick little down move. For me, when I walk away and come back in a couple days or even a month or a week, rarely a month, I kind of lose track of the cycle of things because I'm not trading patterns. Whereas someone who's trading simple, I don't mean simple, I mean solely on tick data or uh, daily levels or whatever, they just do that, right? There's no if, ands, or buts. Oh, if it does a double top on the daily level, I'm going to short it, or double bottom, I'm going to buy it. That's simple. Or if the data is showing this, I'm going to short it. Whereas for me, I'm looking at what's running the board. What is controlling the board, and that's the capital flow side of it. Like I know yen is controlling the board. I know euro debt is controlling the board. So I'm in tune with that. Now, if I remove myself for a week or two or a month, I might lose my place. It's kind of like reading a book and stepping away or for a week or two or whatever. I don't know where I left off. And I don't know how, things panned out from there. So I need to like watch it again. It's not reading a book. It's more like watching a movie or a video. Then I have to watch it again and be like, oh, and then put the pieces together. Like, oh, where I left off, this is what's currently happening. Assuming you can't rewind it. And then I try to build that narrative again. But yeah, it's not like, because I'm not trading patterns, right? I mean, I am in a small context of price action patterns, but on a larger macro scale, I'm not trading patterns. I'm really looking at, cool, we should be short crude, we should be short metals, we should be short indices. Now let's look for a place to short. What are the levels? What's running the board? Oh shit, the yen's running the board. The European debt's running the board. Let's see what the European debt's doing. Oh, it's overextended on a low volume day yesterday. So should we expect a big running day today? No. And quite frankly, today wasn't a big running day, despite it looking or feeling like it was. It really wasn't. In the grand scheme of, even on a daily level, we didn't run anywhere, right? We're still within that consolidation of last week. So it's nothing, this move on a micro scale or a zoomed in, looks huge, but it really isn't. I don't know if that answers your question, but there it is.
Well, okay, so let's say you do take a month off, you lose your place. Sorry. What do you think you'd be able to get your footings in a couple of hours, or would it take you a day, or would it
I'd
take
take
you
a couple
2
of days,
days? A couple of days?
probably 2
to get
3
your
days,
feel back?
just like, because you can still look at historical data, right? So I'll look at historical data and look at what's running it, but it would just take me a while longer because I don't know what started the trigger, so I don't know what to look for. So then I'm just looking at a bunch of shit to find out, you know, and look at the news, read the news.
Then
Yeah,
how
stuff like
far
that.
along then, like in your trading career, is that even possible? Was that at like the 5-year mark or like the 8-year mark where you're like, I feel pretty confident I could take a month off, I can come back, I kind of got it.
You could never take a month off.
You just don't, that's that.
Yeah, I don't think I could ever take a month off.
Personally, or like
I don't think I could take a
just you
month
wouldn't
off.
be able to go back to trade, like you would just, like you'd fail as a trader, or
No,
just personally couldn't handle it and you like are addicted to meth and you want it.
I'm probably addicted, and
Yeah.
I think you know, part of it is being accountable, right? So I feel accountable no matter if it's only 2, 3 of you guys are using the levels. I feel accountable to provide that the levels and provide the narrative for the day.
Partly why you're doing this?
Yeah. No, absolutely. It is.
Give yourself some purpose.
I wouldn't call it purpose.
Some
I like.
pressure. How about that? Let's give yourself some pressure.
It's more so.
To do it, to like continually to do it. You know what I mean? It's like going to the gym. It's way easier to go to the gym if you got a buddy or somebody that's pushing you, or you know what I mean?
I think if I disappeared, no one would give a shit, to be honest with you. Like I kind of disappeared. No, I didn't disappear, but I wasn't as active, you know, in late August, early September, right? Because I was busy traveling. Granted, it was a slow month. I don't think anyone really was like, oh shit, we need zero. But you know, I was like, I should be more accountable. And I do want to help. You know, there are a handful of you guys that I personally help, and I don't want to use the word mentor, but you know, I spend a little bit more time with.
I think it's because we understood. I think if I was there, or like if the World Cup thing, stuff like that, we understood where you went, and then it feels kind of like you don't want to be like that entitled person. Like where were you? We need you here, calling out things, giving you love. Like no one wants to be like that guy, you know.
I understand, but I don't think. I think. I mean, of course, you guys wouldn't do that because you guys aren't assholes.
Well, I do that, but I'm different.
You do fucking message me in odd ass hours, like knowing that we have opposite hours. You'll message me, hey, take a look at this. It's like the fuck. It's like
it's the picture of the back of his hand.
It's like, all right. No, it's sometimes it's like